Let me set the stage. I'm a young boy, sitting at home. When my mom finally comes home after a long day of being somewhere, I don't really remember where, but she comes home. And she says, "Hello, child. I have a video game for you." "Mother, a video game for me? Oh, you shouldn't have." I take said video game. I go to my room. I put it in my console and I begin playing it. And then I see this.
Don't struggle, Alice. Let the new one emerge.
Corruption? It's killing me. Wonderland is destroyed. My mind is in ruins.
Forget it, Alice. Block that dream. Wake at the sound.
Now, I believe saying I didn't react well would be an understatement. I pretty much was terrified of that game for the entirety of my early childhood. But now that I'm able to handle things like that more, I decided, why don't I try and play the game again? Now, this game in question is Alice Madness Returns, which is actually a sequel to a game called American McGee's Alice. So I said, today I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play the game for 2 hours. And after that, I will decide whether or not I want to finish it. I played the game 2 hours. And to make a long story short, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It's really good. And now, I'm going to talk about it. Alice Madness Returns is a sequel to American McGee's Alice that was released in 2011. It was developed by Spicy Horse, directed by American McGee, and published by Electronic Arts. So, of course, I had to pay money for this thing. The game follows a 19-year-old Alice Little after she was released from Rutledge Asylum and to return to Wonderland. Now that I've told you the plot of the game, I don't have to read a script anymore, and I can just go on with my ramblings. Now, just to let you know, this is not going to be one of those super-duper detailed video essays. This is pretty much just going to be me talking about how this game traumatized me and also how much I like it. To start, after I first played the game, pretty much for years, it kind of just sit in the corner. And I tried my best to forget about it, but sometimes if I would go through my old games and I would see it there, I would just kind of shudder a little bit. It was bad. It really scarred me, that opening scene. And I pretty much forgot about it until a few days ago, when I watched a video that was actually a review of American McGee's Alice, and I was like, this seems a little familiar. And then they mentioned in the video that it has a sequel that's called Alice Madness Returns, and they showed footage from it, and I was like, oh god, I forgot about this. I forgot about this game. But now that, I'm not a little scaredy cat, and I saw this, I was like, this game looks really good. I should play it. So, I did, today. And I was right. It is pretty good. I'm going to talk about the visual style of this game a lot, because I really like it. Every now and then, throughout the story, especially in the intro, that's the part that traumatized me, but they have these it's like this like drawn style, and it looks really interesting. It kind of reminds me, I don't it reminds me of this like indie game that Markiplier played back in like 2013. It was called like Never Ending Nightmares, which is was also which also traumatized me as well. But also just the way the game looks during gameplay, it is, for a game made in 2011, it is so pretty. It is such a pretty game. Like, it has such a like a unique style, and like the level design is like really interesting, and like the colors that are used are cool. The character designs, even though a lot of them are rather creepy and kind of grotesque, are cool. I love the outfits that Alice wears throughout the games. Alice is absolutely dripped out throughout the entirety of the game. It's just the amount of drip that Alice has is just, it's almost unbelievable, to be honest. The soundtrack too, which you're most likely hearing right now, is just it's really good. I really like the soundtrack. It's like the perfect mixture between like whimsical and creepy. It's just a really, the game's got a really good soundtrack. And of course, you can't really talk about a game without like actually talking about the gameplay. Like, that's pretty much the most important part of any game, really. The gameplay, I I like it. I mean, I've never been the biggest fan of 3D platformers. It's never really been my thing. But I mean, even though I'm not a fan of 3D platformers, I mean, this 3D platformer is pretty good. I mean, the platforming in the game, it's pretty good. It's pretty responsive. It's pretty smooth. What's kind of annoying is that there's not like you can't grapple onto the sides of like platforms, which I'm pretty sure you were able to do in American McGee's Alice. I don't really know why they took that out, but also the combat elements, I think it feels pretty satisfying to hit guys. There's like, and the the weapons, I really like the weapons, because like you have like a fucking pepper shaker that uses a fucking Gatling gun, and that's really funny. You also just have like a knife. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty standard. There's like also these like rabbit bombs that you put down. You can use them to like blow up walls. You can use them to do damage to people. You can also, which I think is a pretty interesting, an interesting mechanic to do with a weapon that is meant to explode, is you can put it up. You can put them on buttons, so you can just like have something to keep the button down, like the kind of buttons that you would like stand on, like pressure plates, and what else? There's also at the point that I got into the game, there's also this horse bat thing. It's like a heavy weapon. I think it's pretty cool as well. You can like upgrade your weapons, and in order to do that, you have to collect teeth, which is just pretty funny. I don't know why they chose teeth specifically. I don't know if that's like some kind of reference to something, but I think it's pretty funny that you just break open barrels and just like a bunch of fucking teeth fall out. Now, imagine you're just like walking around somewhere, you find a barrel, you open it up, there's just a bunch of teeth and roses inside of it. Like, who the fuck is filling these barrels with these things? Like, I get that it's like kind of a fantasy wonderland where everything's like demented and shit, but still, it's really funny. I think the characters are very entertaining too, and also very creepy. The characters are very creepy, especially in the way that they look. Um, there's the cat. I know he has a name. It's like the something cat, but he's creepy. I like him. He's like kind of a tutorial character. He kind of guides Alice. Then there's also the Mad Hatter. You have to like in chapter 1, you spend like pretty much the entirety of chapter 1 trying to find his limbs, because they peeps like a rabbit and this fucking mouse stole them. And the enemies in the game, I like them. I like the enemies. There's these like weird like black goopy like doll things. There's like two types of them. There's like the regular types, and then there's the fucking big types. I don't like the big types. I like genuinely dislike the big types. It's not just because they're hard to kill. It's because I don't think they work that well. Because the way that you're supposed to kill them is you can either use like the heavy fucking horse bat to like break their arms, because they have like these arms that are in front of their face, and you have to like you have to get a way to break them. But for some reason they take like so many hits to break. There's lots of ways to break them, but like none of them work. Like you could you have this umbrella that you can use to like knock back their projectiles, and it just, for me, it just never works. It's only like every now and then that it works. Like I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if that's the way that it's supposed to be, but I think it's pretty annoying. You can also use the horse to break their arms, which is probably the most efficient way. It doesn't even really break their arms. It's just, you're just able to kind of damage them without even having to. Then you can also put the rabbit bombs in front of them. There's no point. It really doesn't work. And there's also these these things probably have names. I don't think I paid too much attention to what these creatures' names were, nor do I know much about the original Alice in Wonderland story, nor the story of American McGee's Alice. I should really play that. The American McGee's Alice, at least in the version that I'm playing of Alice Madness Returns, American McGee's Alice is like built into the game, and that's really cool. That's a really cool thing to do. And I'm pretty sure American McGee's Alice itself is like free on most platforms. And I mean, I gotta give props to American McGee. Like, I mean, these people, they're not doing it just for the money. These people have actual like passion behind what they're doing here. And apparently there's like supposed to be like a third game that like is currently in like a weird like kind of copyright limbo, because EA, I don't know much about this. I didn't do much reading up on it, so I probably don't have all of the details right. So don't expect me to be the person to go to. But like EA has the copyrights to like the Alice brand, and so American McGee is like trying to like either get it back or get EA to like work with them so they can make this third game, which is meant to be called like Alice Asylum. And I think that sucks, because like it looks like a really interesting game. It looks like it has a really interesting concept. I mean, I have all the faith in American McGee. I mean, they've proved that they're very competent game devs. Because like if Asylum does come out, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm definitely also going to go back and play American McGee's Alice once I'm done playing Madness. Now, there's the story of the game. I won't go into too much detail because I don't really want to spoil it. But like, it's set like a year after American McGee's Alice. I don't know anything about that because I haven't played the first game. I will. Don't yell at me. I will play the first game. I just want to finish the second game first. I know that sounds like a crime, but it's fine, okay? It's set like a year after the first game, and I guess at the end of the first game, you like get out of the out of the asylum that you were in, and like you're kind of free to go, but you're under like the supervision of this guy. His name Dr. Bumby, just stupid ass name, but you're under his supervision, and like you work at this like orphanage that he like works at, and you go, you leave. It doesn't seem like anyone in this city likes you. Everyone seems to be an asshole when you're walking out in like the street. Just everybody hates you. But you go, you meet this old lady. I don't really know much about her lore relevance or whatever. I mean, maybe I should have paid more attention, but and maybe it's because I haven't played the first game. But like she turns into like a weird fish creature, and then that's when you first get sent to Wonderland. You get greeted by like the cat, and that's when the game really like starts off in chapter 1. By the way, I don't know if it's just because I'm not good at video games, but chapter 1 is really long. Like it's really long. I'm only like pretty much at the point that I'm at. I'm only like just into chapter 2, which is like a ice looking place. Now, a lot of people see this game as like a like underrated gem, and I could definitely see that. This game doesn't seem to have as much attention as I think it should. Like, I mean, obviously there's lots of people that know it. There's a lot of people that made videos about it, but I don't think this game is as mainstream as it should be. I feel like more people should know about it. It's a really good game. It's a really good experience. At least so far. I don't know if it's gonna like fall off. I mean, it doesn't seem like it will. It seems like it's going pretty strong, but I mean, it might fall off. Who knows? I haven't finished the game. I can't say anything. I mean, anyone who has finished the game, you can tell me if it falls off or not. I mean, I'm gonna find out for myself anyway. And I'm sure you've noticed that the title of this video is the game that gave me nightmares, and this game did give me nightmares, at least back in the day when when I first played it and I saw that opening cinematic scene. But basically, the nightmares really could be anything, but usually the fucking rabbit with his head coming off that was usually involved. That rabbit, I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that rabbit, dude. That rabbit was like the main part of it. I didn't even really care about her getting her face scratched off. That part wasn't really the big part. It was just kind of seeing this normal looking rabbit, and then all of a sudden his head just fucking comes off, and it's just like a big geyser of blood comes out, dude. And I mean, looking at it now, it's kind of just a really cool opening scene. Like, the way it's animated is really cool, and like it's just so over the top in every single way. I pretty much I love it now. It's great. But back in the day, I was like, what the fuck? What is this? I'm gonna go cry to my mother now. And that's actually exactly what I did. Exactly what I did when I first played it. So pretty much this is all I really wanted to say with this video. I just kind of wanted to talk about this game. Maybe when I actually finish it, maybe I'll make a follow-up video talking about, maybe going in more in depth in like the story and stuff. But really, I just wanted to make this video to just like talk about this game and really recommend it to people, at least at the point that I'm at. It seems it's really great so far, and I think it's worth it just for how unique it seems. I think people should, if you need a game to play, I think you should go pick it up. So yeah, that's really it. I mean, maybe I'll make a follow-up video to this once I actually finish the game. Maybe I'll even make another follow-up video if I play American McGee's Alice. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. This has been the game that gave me nightmares. Thank you.